Hey, welcome back to the Ernest P YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and we are going to do another long overdue episode of mechanic reviews. So I am not the most experienced mechanic in the world, but I like to give a little back. I like to share. I do know quite a bit. I've been working on cars for several years now, and I found a mechanical fails compilation video, so we're going to go through that. This is the first time I've ever seen it. It's about 10 minutes long, and we'll talk about what's happening when you see these cars break or do something weird. What exactly is it doing? Now, I don't know everything, so there might be a few things we'll discuss down in the comments down below, but we'll jump right into this video. Most things we'll probably be able to figure out, so let's go ahead.
Deuce 50 on it.
All right, so we got this guy standing on that tire tool there. He's trying to take the lug nuts off. And it looks like it just completely broke. He probably broke that stud. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see in the middle of that shiny part, that was the stud that was supposed to come out with the tire. I mean, the nut was supposed to come off of that, and it completely broke. So that was clearly rusted on there. So, all right, here we see this is an axle out of a truck, and that axle has been bent. That's why you can see it wobbling like that. It's got a bent axle. So, okay, this is funny because you might see a welder and think, great, he's welding that piece of metal that's broken, but you cannot weld a crankshaft. They're forged, so when they're hot, they're stamped out of one piece of metal, and they can't be reconnected.
All right, on three.
Okay, you got somebody about ready to race here.
Holy,
And that's actually pretty funny. So he just jumped all the way back in the seat. Obviously, you know what that means. Pretty funny though.
A three-cylinder. Damn that thing.
Three-cylinder.
Good,
Yeah, that may mean he's either down a cylinder or he's just being goofy, but he probably doesn't have a three-cylinder.
Little wannabe.
Okay.
Thin little carbon fiber.
That looks like it's one of those lips
And these guys were making
made out of carbon fiber that you can just attach around the trim, kind of like put a little kit on your car. I think the point being it's supposed to be glued on, but they actually just ran like a million screws into it. So
little screws.
I don't really see anything wrong with that. You can get those at AutoZone, but I wouldn't put a ton of screws in there. But I wouldn't call that a fail unless they had drilled into like a coolant reservoir or something. Okay, this is a motor mount. This is pretty cool. This is what it looks like when a motor mount completely breaks. So those two pieces are held together by rubber so the motor can move. When it completely breaks, the engine will move a lot. And that's why. Okay, it looks like this person ran over something. Oh no. It looks like they put a bigger motor in whatever vehicle they had, or they either ran over something. But it looks like a different motor, but it didn't fit in the original frame of the vehicle, so they cut it off and did some custom fabrication, which
That's the guy she told
isn't
me
a
not
good
to worry
idea.
about.
So here's some springs. Yeah. Goodness. That had to have made sound. So that's the differential. And being broken like that, it would have made a ton of noise. So here they've got a control arm that was broken. Alright, I bet I know what's going to happen. A bunch of wobbling, watch. Yeah. Because one, it says it's a Jeep thing. I wouldn't have recognized it was a Jeep. But this is what they call death wobble, and it's pretty much synonymous with old Jeeps. When you get them to a certain speed, they'll just start to wobble. It's an alignment issue mostly. So that was a radiator hose. It was completely busted, which isn't uncommon. It's happened on my vehicle before. Holy cow. Obviously, that's not supposed to be triangle. They hit a curb really hard. Okay, this is emulsification. This is when you get water inside of your oil, and everything's moving so fast in there that it emulsifies them. It mixes them together. Okay, here's an axle.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's a completely broken axle, so he could spin it. That tire should have been spinning. Okay, that's what happens when your engine throws a rod. When it seizes up and breaks that rod, it'll shoot out the side of the engine and leave a hole like that. Usually not so big, but... Okay, something else going on, some sort of emulsification here. It looks like some oil got into that coolant. That's supposed to be antifreeze, and it's just bubbling up black goo. Okay, this is what they call a cheater bar when you put a big old pipe over the end of a wrench. And it's to give it more torque. The longer you can make something, the more weight you put on the end equals a lot more force over there. But that's a clutch. That's not super uncommon. When a clutch goes out, that's pretty much what you'd expect to see, just pretty much broken. So there's a linkage called a transmission between the two wiper blades. It's pretty uncommon for those to get disconnected. They have like a rubber or plastic bushing around them. So okay, that is supposed to be mounted solid, but obviously it is moving whenever they are trying to drive that truck. So pretty crazy.
Driver has no complaints.
Some broken mounts. So
Couldn't feel the damn thing bounce.
goodness.
Supposed to do.
And that's how you ruin a expensive set of tires right there. So they either slammed on the brake and skidded, or that tire was locked up. Okay. Well, I mean, that's not the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Those mufflers are on hangers, and he just tied it back up with some wire. But okay, this has some serious problems, and the ball joint has come loose or something. One of the components in that suspension came loose, and the whole thing could move. All right, here we've got a BMW. It's got this straight six engine, and that's what happens when you don't change your oil. That's pretty sad, honestly. That can be 100% prevented by changing your oil when you're supposed to. This too, right here. This might be the same vehicle, but that's probably 20,000 miles. So that's pretty sad. Okay, custom spinners. They obviously didn't work very well, but nothing wrong with that. Pretty cool. All right, so somebody poked a hole in their light there. It was obviously filled up with water, so they just popped a hole in there. Not uncommon. This is a lot of blow-by. Can't tell what it was coming out of, but excessive blow-by in that engine, blowing that around. So same thing here. This is blow-by. This is when they probably got bad rings on their pistons, and it's just pumping a ton of air into that engine. So it's going to need to be re-ringed. Same thing here. It might be the same engine. Or it's got a bad PCV valve. If that was an Audi or a Volkswagen. Yeah, that's sad. They ripped their bumper off. So this will happen like when you bend a tie rod and you get two tires facing in different directions. It'll kick the whole back end of the vehicle around. So yeah, that's a piston there, and that's a valve, and they're never supposed to touch. But obviously they touched and broke off and completely lodged itself in the top of the piston. So happened in my first engine. This is a drive shaft. When you get too much power put into a drive shaft or corrosion or what have you, you can break a drive shaft. Sometimes they'll twist, sometimes they snap like that. So I don't know what happened here. Either the driver of the machine told the guy it's not all going to fit, and the guy said do it, or they're playing a joke on him. But the guy probably ordered a whole 3 yards of dirt or whatever that was, and obviously his trailer holds like a yard. So here we got just a 2-wheel drive vehicle trying to pull into a garage with a bunch of snow outside. But I mean, you could get a running start. That's what I was gonna say, but it looks like he might have. He made it in next time. Maybe that's why they stopped filming. But okay. Oh, that looks like a brand new tire too. But that's a pair of wrenches sticking out of the tire. So that's pretty crazy. I've seen some crazy things in tires, but I've never seen a pair of pliers like that. I said wrench, but it's pliers, obviously. Okay, that's a throttle body. There's not supposed to be any liquid in there. And that's emulsification, so that
I think you might need new shock absorbers.
Water and oil mix. Okay, that's scaly rust. This is why it's important to wash the underside of your vehicle, especially if you live in an area with a lot of salt on the roads in the winter. But that shock looks like it was completely busted.
Go for it, Joe.
Big old V8. Okay, we talked earlier about motor mounts, how they're broken. That's what'll happen. That's what it'll look like when that motor mount's broken. And you hit the gas, you put it in reverse, it'll just jump around like that. So, hopefully that's not paint. Yeah, it's probably dirt from the cat, but if you're careful and you use a microfiber cloth and you don't reuse it, you can get that out without scratching it. But anyways, I think we pretty much knew what everything was. If you notice I said something wrong, leave it in the comments down below. If you have anything to say, leave it in the comments down below. Questions, comments, anything like that, I'll try and address it. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the video. As always, have a good day. Peace out.